Alright, so the start of the invasion, fortunately, happens fairly quickly. When Beatrix comes in, I believe it's 2 text boxes. 1, 2. The first option, down, down, Blitzen and Call. Third option. That's all you need to do. Then you mash through the rest. That will get you the angel earrings that you need. The angel earrings are useful as something to sell. They're worth 10,000 gil. And they don't take you very much time to get at all. If you do mess them up, I can show you where there is a bit of a backup gil that you can get in a moment. It's not the end of the world, it just costs you about 10 seconds or so. You do end up a little bit more skint on money, so you'll end up with less ethers for your end game. But you can still make it work. Okay. So I'm going to make a save state here. As soon as you get access in this screen, you want to go straight into your menu. Sorry, let me do that again. You're going to go into Beatrix. You're going to give her the rubber helm. You're going to wrap round to off. Down to plate mail. Off, off. L1 into Comlord. Steiner. Optimize into abilities. And then we're going to put on the 4 that we can see here. MP attack, bird killer. Down right to get straight to undead killer. And then right to devil killer. You may not have learned bird killer yet. There is a chance that you haven't learned bird killer yet. If you haven't learned bird killer yet, don't worry too much. But you will need to re-equip it manually in Disc 3. I will show you where when we get to it. But there is a part in the game, if you have not learnt bird killer yet, we do have some backups for bird killer as late as Red Dragons. So you may just be getting it at the end there. Usually if you die to Black Waltz 3-2, that's never happened to you. It's happened to me once. If you die to Black Waltz 3-2 and then die on a bunch of the dogfights and things like that, it can happen. Finally, in this menu, put Beatrix in the back row. Make sure you put Beatrix in the back row, otherwise she will get absolutely crushed by the physical attacks of the monsters. So a new strategy that I've liked adopting here is standing in the way of this woman, and then when that Mistodon comes around the barrel, that's when you go. So let me do that again really quickly. So if you come down here and sort of stand just above the barrel, get in the way of the woman, and then come round. Because if you let her go past, like I used to do, standing like here or so, and then you try and go around, you can actually get stuck behind her and she can get in the way, depending on how she moves. Yeah, you can block her and let her get eaten. Pretty funny. Yo, Chef. Focus on your run, dude. Okay. Next screen. So you can skip the extra Mistodon in here as well. If you walk right, if you use the walk as well and like really sketch it, what you want to do is you want to line Steiner's sword up. So this only works on PSX. On PC, you have to pretty much get the sword to touch this angled slat. It goes a lot further along. On PSX, you pretty much want your sword just over the X or on the X. I think that's fine. Yeah. So just past that X, and you can use the walk to stop yourself from going too much further. You see how it's just above where those bits of wood intersect? Then press left, and it'll take you through. Now we're on to the Mistodon battles. These are really simple. Steiner will kill these things in one hit. Freya? Beatrix can use life to kill them in one hit as well. Beatrix is back road, so she can't really deal much physical damage. If Steiner does underroll them with a physical attack, you can use Beatrix's basic attack to finish them off. Life can miss at 10%, as can Steiner. You pretty much want to be using them, as always, steal turns. So I'm going to hold ATB here to see if Beatrix connects. Looks like he's having his turn anyway. Okay, so this is something you don't have in the MPU route. Unfortunately, in Petro, we don't learn Insomniac. So we can be slept here. both Steiner and Beatrix are susceptible to sleep. I don't know what the success rate of sleep is. I think it's around 1 in 3. It doesn't deal very much damage, but when you're sleeping, you take additional physical damage, and you won't wake up for about 3 turns. It's depending on your character's speed. So if you have something like auto haste equipped for whatever reason, then you'll wake up faster. But if you're hit by a physical, you'll wake up instantly. Hopefully, we don't get slept. Okay, so Beatrix has been slept here. We can't really wake her up. We kind of have to let her do her own thing. So we're going to use Steiner to try and take out this Mistodon on the left. Nice. Unfortunately, Beatrix is still out of action. So she has been woken up. But because we're presented with the option of using either of them to finish off this Mistodon, we're going to opt to use Steiner because it's a lot faster. Casting Cure is quite slow. So after this encounter, you're going to want to heal. If you've got any Mistodon encounters before this as well, you should probably think about healing from them as well. Just a couple cures on your party should finish it up, and then you shouldn't need any more healing after this. You should be nice and beefy. But yeah, just to reiterate, if you can, you want to be using Steiner attacks to finish these mobs off. Just like we did in Clara Invasion, if your ATBs are close, you can gamble as to whether or not you think their ATBs are almost full. If you do hold ATB with Beatrix and count to like 2, just to see if they're having their turn. If they are, then you can stop your command with Beatrix and you can just take control with Steiner instead. But here, we're just going to try and get Steiner through. So as you can see, it takes quite a while for their animations to come through. Beatrix is highly resistant to fire thanks to the Save the Queen. And after you've killed your first set of Mistodons, Steiner's level should be high enough so that he can't low roll anymore. Sometimes Steiner will actually low roll on these Mistodons, and you'll need that. But that should only happen in your first encounter or 2. I think after you've killed 2 Mistodons, that can't happen anymore. I think it's around level 13 where that stops happening. Again, gonna try and just get fired. The RNG of this section is really based on how quickly your menu is, how quickly you can do your skip, and how many times these guys want to cast spells. If they use something like head attack, then you're not losing too much time. But if you're witnessing a lot of fires and stuff, then you're gonna start losing time. Especially if you get slept. What I will say though is if you get slept and you find yourself in a really difficult situation, don't be afraid to heal. You should have at least 1 elixir left. So again, we've got these 2 ATBs that are pretty high up. We always want to prioritize Steiner. And we're going to hold with Beatrix just in case we miss. If we miss, then we can quickly switch to using life. If for some reason we low roll, we can use a basic attack. But while you're waiting for turns to play out, it's always a good idea to hold ATB and see what happens before making a decision. You don't need to make your turn until you've seen how the current turn plays out. Remember that. This is the final fight. If you're quick, well, you should be. It's not too difficult. ATBs in this battle where Steiner trances are fixed. Freya, God damn it, I'm going to keep calling her Freya. Beatrix will always outspeed the Mistodon on the left, which will be the Mistodon on the top in the menu. If you're quick enough and you get to life, you can just queue it on that top Mistodon, and then just hold ATB with Steiner. The bottom Mistodon should have its turn. Let him have its turn, and then make sure that nothing terrible is happening. You don't need to heal for whatever reason or anything like that. And then after Beatrix has used her turn, as long as the Mistodon on top is nice and dead, you can go ahead and kill the other Mistodon with Steiner. So really quickly, you're going to go down to life, which is item 3. Life, which is item 2. Cast life. The bottom Mistodon's going to have his turn. Nice quick head attack for us. Beatrix is going to cast life for us now, holding ATB to make sure that bottom Mistodon's not going to get an extra turn. The name went grayed out like that, which means it's died, and now we can go ahead and target with Steiner. Easy win. And that's the Mistodon section. Oh, yeah, that's true. So if you have enough MP on Beatrix during that section, you can use Shock. to instantly kill one of them. And shock can't miss. I always forget that shock's a thing. I remember someone told me once that shock was slower than using life. So I just never did it. But no, Peter is right. You can use shock, and shock can't miss. But it is something like 48 MP. It's a lot. You'll only ever get to use it once in the entire sequence, and you'll only get to use it if you don't cast many lives. It is an option. It is absolutely an option. And if you've got the MP for it in the final fight, it is the preferred option for sure.